welcome back to my channel. It is 6:30 in the morning and I can't sleep. So I figured I'd make a video I've been intending to make for a while, talking about video games and anime and autism. So a week or so ago, I watched an interview with Temple Grandin, who is an autistic woman who's written a couple books. She's coming out with another one soon. But the point is, she had talked about how there are 3 types of autistic people, being that the one type is like the mechanic or the crafter, someone who visually sees how to put things together. I would consider myself in that category. And then another type is like someone who's really into history or statistics. That is certainly my husband. And then the third type is someone who is mathematically or musically inclined, and that is my son. So Lincoln is continues to be nonverbal. He has the most severe level of autism as anyone in our family, but he's brilliant when it comes to numbers and just application of mathematics and music. He really likes jingles. He likes playing different sounds on loop. We have a piano. I can actually show you a baby grand piano, and he likes to play on the piano, but ever since he was a toddler, he never really banged on the keys. He just would diddle out melody with his fingers, and I often wondered if there would be a way to teach him piano, being that he's nonverbal. I don't know if you can teach or give someone piano lessons when they can't speak. I wouldn't know how to find someone who's able to do that. But anyway, I think he would actually pick up the piano quite quickly and play it quite well, because he already is kind of teaching himself how to play it. It's just a matter of understanding and reading music. That would be the challenge for him. But in any case, she had said that often autistic or neurodivergent people fit into one of these 3 categories at the detriment of the other 2. So if one is good at mathematics and music, they may not necessarily be as good with statistics or craftsmanship. So, and then she had said something in her interview that kind of stuck with me. She said that because the woman interviewing her asked if there was any advice she would give to mothers, and she said the one thing she said was to get your child involved in services right away, as soon as possible. But the other thing was, don't let them play video games. She said that video games are a detriment to the autistic mind. And I think that those that may play video games, I'm sure if given to them in moderation, they may be able to adapt to the stimulation. But I think it would be hard otherwise for a child with autism to be able to regulate themselves. And if they put all energy and effort into a video game, they do it at the expense of what their natural talents may be. Like if a child's spending the whole day developing something in Minecraft, my child, for example, spends the whole day building a castle in Minecraft, he's not spending any of that time honing his musical skills or building things to the tune of mathematics. So, for that reason, I'm concerned about video games even as a viable option. The only reason I consider them anyway to begin with is because he has such poor fine motor skills. And, when we were kids, they often boasted that video games helped with hand-eye coordination. So I thought that it might assist with his fine motor skills, get him to develop traits that would help him to write better. He's not very interested in holding writing implements or utilizing them. So it would be a leap, I suppose, but it could be a potential benefit for him. But I just don't know if it's worth the risk. I feel like there's other ways that I can get him to develop those skills without introducing him to something that could potentially be addictive. So that kind of summarizes video games. Now, anime might be another thing that you're just like, okay, yeah, I get it. Video games I get, but why anime? And anime is a completely different theory, I guess, and it's my own theory. It really is not substantiated or grounded on any type of reality. So any of you anime fans out there, which I am one, I do watch anime myself. So, I'm not knocking anime, for lack of a better term, but I just don't think that it's appropriate for my son based on his level of need. And let me explain why. So, like I said, my son is nonverbal. So, that being said, he is developing communication skills. He is repeating a lot of what we say, called echolalia. So we'll make a statement and he will repeat the statement back to us. Like I'll say, Lincoln, are you hungry? And then he'll say hungry. He'll say the last word of a sentence to affirm that he's hungry. So there's potential there for him to move forward in his speech. He's about to head into kindergarten, and so hopefully he'll develop a lot of language there. I know I've said it in previous videos, but a lot of people have said that 5 is the golden time when a lot of nonverbal children start to develop language, and once they get into school, he's going to be in kindergarten full-time in a special needs class. So it is my hope that he'll be able to go from nonverbal to developing at least a modicum of communication skills we can build upon. It's going to take time, though. And with the delay in his speech, he's going to be behind everyone around him. So it is crucial for him to develop adequate social skills that reflect those around him, so that he can communicate with his peers. So anime is, first of all, a resemblance of the Japanese culture, but it's also an over-exaggeration of that culture. So whilst someone might get excited about a circumstance. In an anime, their definition of excited is flapping their hands and screaming at the top of their lungs and running all over the place, and it's just super exaggerated. So right now, there's a lot of anime he wouldn't be watching. Like, he'd be watching, Keropian stuff, like maybe Sergeant Frog at the most. Like, he wouldn't be watching the more advanced stuff. But as he gets older and starts to develop these language skills that I'm just hoping and praying he'll be able to develop, his delay with everyone else is going to impact him, but he should still be able to start to watch these more complex animes like My Hero Academia and Death Note and Black Butler and stuff. But by watching them, he's going to develop an understanding of socialization based on what he sees in these animes. And they can develop. I know there's all this talk about Coco Melon making kids autistic, but I think the truth of it is, it's the bright flashy colors, it's the music, it's kind of trance inducing. The kids get sucked into it at this age. Well, anime is very similar at an older age. You can get very sucked into it because it's very bright, colorful. There's exaggerated movements. It's easy to follow even if you're not able to follow the conversation based on the motions and facial expressions and things of that nature. So he could easily get really absorbed into these animes and develop social skills based on those animes. And I kind of think that the younger generations are already doing this. If you ever see these really cringy TikTok videos where they're like lip syncing to some sort of audio track or music, and they're like making these very exaggerated facial expressions and hand movements and stuff, and it's all a mimicry of anime. And so I think that, I don't even know if they are correlating that intentionally or it's just because everybody else is doing it, so they're doing it. But they're all developing these weird, over-exaggerated motions and stuff on their videos based on anime behaviors. And, I see it at conventions too, well, anime conventions, where people in reality are trying their best to behave in a way that would be conducive to what you would see on an anime. So my concern is that Lincoln would become very weird in a normal social setting, because he's over exaggerating his movements. He's saying things and acting in ways that don't fit into our culture, that may be more conducive to what you would see in Japan or in a make-believe cartoon fantasy, but that don't fit into what people would normally say or do in this setting, in this society. So I think the best way to help him is to make sure that he is exposed to normal communication with normal children, which I'm trying to do by getting him involved and active in the church community. He does go to speech class 3 times a week, so he's already in school. He's been in school since he was 3, but in those class settings, he is only really working with teachers and has very minimal interaction with the other students in those classes. So already he's stunted in his social engagement and doesn't know how to properly communicate. An example of this is he doesn't understand what a kiss is. Like, I kiss him, but his way of kissing me is he just rests his lips against my arm. He's very fond of my arms. He curls his arms around my arm and he hugs my arm. Like my arm is his love item. That's his security blanket. So, but he does not know how to actually gesture and mimic a kiss. He just puts his lips against my arm and then pulls them away again. And that's him kissing me. But he doesn't really do an actual kiss. Even though I kiss him, he's not able to demonstrate that back to me. And the best way for him to learn how to properly kiss would be through videos, watching them on videos. And they don't really have videos that show that at his age level, which is fine. I'm just giving you an example. So it's really complicated. Like he watches videos about emotions, and these are all preschool level videos where he watches like what a facial expression looks like when you're happy or what it looks like when you're sad. And that's how he's developing an understanding of what those emotions mean in other people. He doesn't often look at people's faces. Mostly if he's looking at me, he's looking directly into my eyes and he just stares at my eyes and then he looks away and goes about his business. So he doesn't really take in face or facial expression, which is very reflective in the fact that if I would do a video call, like when I was in Pittsburgh, I tried to do a video call. Well, I did a video call with my husband so that we could see each other. And I tried to engage with Lincoln on the video and he did not respond to it at all. Like he did not comprehend that the video was me live trying to communicate to him. He just thought it was another video. And truly, sometimes he watches my videos on YouTube and I'm pretty sure he understands that those are me on those videos, but and maybe because of that or maybe not, but he just doesn't realize the difference between a regular video and a live chat video. And I think a lot of that is language, but also facial expression. And the fact that he doesn't really look at faces, he's more in tune with sounds, like that it's going to like he doesn't understand expression that much. But I don't know what direction I was taking with, I don't remember what point I was making. But yeah, even when he's watching his videos, he's mostly doing it for the sounds. Like he'll put the phone to his ear, he wants to listen, and then he'll rewind it and rewind it and rewind it to listen to the same sound, a sound that either excited him, like in some way, like auditorily it stimulated him, or it's a sound that he's trying to develop an understanding to. Like sometimes if he wants to learn a word, he'll repeat a video over and over again to practice understanding the word. He did that when he tried to learn the word circle. He rewound a video that said circle and tried to repeat the word over and over until he was able to articulate it properly. Articulation is definitely a challenge for him. So it takes some time for him to develop adequate language skills to articulate. And it takes some time for me to sometimes understand what he's trying to say, because it all comes out as one string of mush-mouthed, consonants and vowels. So he might be saying these sounds almost like he's grunting out noises. And then I realize that he's actually trying to recite, Baba Black Sheep or something. So he does do a lot of nursery rhymes in that way. But it's like he's just making the noise without understanding what the words are. So he has very basic communication understanding. And I just illustrate that to show you how far he has to go. There's a long journey ahead of him. And as much as he can communicate in normal settings, in reality-based normal settings, the better chances he'll have at getting to a level of normal communication like I'm doing right now. Because I know when I was in school, um, I was communicating oddly as well, because a lot of the communication or social skills I developed was through classic movies. My mom watched a lot of movies from the 50s with me and 60s, like the black and white movies, the old musicals and stuff. So that's how I developed communication. And I sang a lot. And you just walking down the hallway of school, I would break into song because I watched so many musicals. Um, and I think to some degree, even maybe neurotypical people could be impacted by the type of film or television shows that they watch on how they communicate with other people. If that's all you're really exposed to, like I didn't have a lot of friends for a long time, so I didn't really have a lot of communication outside of the exposure I had to film. So yeah, it affected the way I acted. I got really obsessed with Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer version, when Batman came out, and so I changed the way I talked to like try to talk like Catwoman. So I was very impressionable in that way by film, and I think that it would be even more extreme with anime because of all the bright colors, the exaggerated emotions. Um, it lures you into something much more extremely submersive. So, anyway, I hope I got my point across with all this. I don't know. I feel like at this point I'm just can only repeat myself in various different ways. It's a complex thought. Um, but I really do think that there's some weight behind it based on my own experiences and just what I've seen from our youth. So, what you do as a parent for anyone out there that has autistic children is entirely your choice. Both of my, no, I shouldn't say both, all three of my older children have watched anime. They've never watched it to any great extreme, so it wasn't impactful to them on the way that they behaved. Like they were well rounded enough that they had a lot of real life social communication and watched other things and were exposed to other things. So anime wasn't their only source of social interaction. But when you have a child who's already limited on making friends and then they're only exposed to one type of genre, I think that can be impactful. So anyway, that's all I have to share today. Hoping to give you a cross-stitch update with my next video because I've been doing a lot of stitching, so I got a lot to show you. But until then, have a wonderful Mother's Day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!